portfolio reviews today, or
Hell yeah.
is there a plan
We can do a couple. I have dozens of them just waiting.
in the backlog? Nice.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Welcome, everybody. We're live now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Good to see all of you here. Not our normal stream schedule. We're usually on a Sunday morning. We have the Sunday morning, market dominated, I guess. Nobody streams in the mornings apparently, but yeah, good to be here, man. Obviously, I was on your stream a couple weeks ago, and now we're doing it on mine. So welcome back.
Thank you. Second time here. Feels good.
Yeah, it's amazing how many times we can talk about the Pokemon market every single day, and it seems like
fun. It's fun. I mean, do you not like looking at the shiny app and the graph just keeps going up?
I like looking at maybe some other apps now, perhaps. Maybe one other one that I'll announce here pretty soon. But no, yeah, I mean, I'm not sitting around looking at the chart every day, but I am kind of sitting around looking at the chart every day. You know what I mean? When your portfolio is going up some percentage-ish every day, it's like, how can you not? It's fun.
Dude, someone asked me, I was on stream yesterday, someone asked me like what percentage of my net worth was in Pokemon. And I couldn't give them a straight answer because like the boom's been crazy the past couple months, especially with One Piece too. Like things changed drastically. So today I looked at my TFSA and bro, that line's red. That shit's going down.
Oh yeah.
I opened that for like 5 seconds. This wasn't fun to look at. So close back out of that.
No, yeah, that's I look at my news apps every day. I'm like, ooh, that's not great.
That's depressing.
Oh, this thing is expensive now. Oh shit. Oh, this thing happened here. Yeah, very depressing. But then I look at Pokemon. I'm like, we just hit a new all-time high. Prismatic BCTBs are $1,000.
Are they actually that
high? I don't think that's actually true, but they did spike. I haven't looked at prices in a day, and I feel like I missed a decade of price gains.
We'll pull it up.
Yeah, we'll get it pulled up here. Or I have it actually. I was looking at it before. But yeah,
DJ says, what's a TFSA? Yeah, Supa says, Canadian retirement account. It's not, well, most people use it for retirement, but it's just tax-free savings account. So whatever you put into it, whatever gains you make.
It's like a retirement account, right?
Yeah. I mean, we have like RRSPs and other stuff too, but
yeah,
the big benefits, you're not going to pay tax on it. So it really is our best.
Yeah, most of my money's in the market and retirement. But the last year, Pokemon has really ascended as one of my top holdings, which is, I don't know about you, but like obviously we have a lot of conviction in Pokemon and the IP and the system for which product is ripped and the demand and all that. But I think you were talking about this on your stream the other night, but do you ever feel like it's like fake and it's Pokemon at the end of the day and you're just like, what am I doing exactly? How much do I have in Pokemon? Do you ever just like have that thought in the back of your mind? You're like, you kind of acknowledge it and of course you move on, but like
I mean, what do you mean by fake?
Well, it's not fake, but I don't think it's like calling it an asset. I don't know if we're quite there yet, like as far as comparing it to something like gold. The market cap is a lot lower, et cetera, but, and the use cases and things like that. But at the end of the day, it is like a trading card game and there is a lot of opportunity in it. But yeah, Creeper Masher, it almost feels sometimes like in bowls like this, like too good to be true. Isn't it just kind of ridiculous when you take a step back and look at the wall behind you with all of your empty cases and you're like, man, what are we doing here?
At times it definitely feels like a meme. Doesn't feel real.
Yeah.
It's almost laughable, right? How much some of this stuff has gone up. But,
it's ridiculous.
I think when I was talking to Dan, like he framed it in a way that was really almost exciting to someone who was listening. It's like, if they're printing 10 billion cards a year, and again, like this isn't perfect math. It doesn't work out like this in real life, but if they're printing 10 billion cards, 10 cards in a pack, billion packs, MSRP is $5 a pack or whatever it is, like that's $5 billion a year. It's not like a crazy large market cap. So, if you're in early, that should be something that excites you. But at the same time, yeah, when it just in a vacuum, when your cardboard boxes are going up 1,000% in a couple of years, it can be difficult to wrap your head around.
I mean, it must be like the printing and the amount of packs that exist must be multitudes lower than the demand. I mean, at this point, we've had the same fears for months now, if not borderline years at this point of like, okay, when is it going to pop? When is it going to all come crashing down? When is it, going to go back to MSRP or whatever variation of that? And there's just the infrastructure just doesn't exist for that to happen. And the fact that it's just so not yet, we'll see how demand scales ahead of this printing facility, right? But yeah, I mean, people have been talking about a black swan event, and I don't know if you look at traditional markets, usually even in a black swan event, there's some very quick recovery, usually within months, oftentimes. So I don't know. It feels like Pokemon's pretty insulated from that, obviously, it goes without saying, but I don't see an answer where it drops significantly at this point. At this current state in time, I don't see what could bring it down.
Could you imagine how fast product would move, like the S tier stuff, if it just dropped 50% overnight? Like, do you think, let me ask this differently. Do you think if Ascended Heroes was like $50 in ETB, that people just wouldn't buy it?
Well, in this market, with the current demand, obviously, but it begs the question: if we were in an environment where it dropped to $50 in ETB, would people have the confidence to buy it like they didn't do a few years ago, right?
So, right, but how fast would it take for people's perception to change? Do you think it would be overnight, or would it take like 6 months?
Well, I think a lot of people would be shaken out overnight. I think the sentiment would change pretty quickly, generally. I agree. And I think, I mean, look at December and November, even that slight blip in demand. Like, there were people who were like, 2026, like, I think it's going to be a good year, but we don't really know. You saw all the posts, the market is crashing, like everything, all the creators kind of exacerbate the little micro fluctuations, and everything just echoes and it reverberates, and people just, everything is so exaggerated in this space. You know what I mean? I would say that, like, yeah, there would still be people buying it, but if the price is like stayed that low, how long until like your bigger players or your more confident people would leave? Then it could be months. Like, if you were buying $50 Ascended ETBs for 11 months straight, you'd be like, all right, it's starting to feel not great. I understand this is a good, probably, like, I have conviction in Pokemon, but you would be thinking a little differently than right now, which is literally just, I'll buy anything at any price. I mean, not you and I, of course, but
bro, we would have to get to such a crazy place for that to happen, though. I feel like, even when Crown Zenith got an insane reprint of ETBs and they were like $30, $32, like they jumped from 30 to 40 fairly quickly, and then from 40 to 50 fairly quickly.
It's true.
And that was the time when like nobody was here, nobody cared about Pokemon. So
it would be totally different if you didn't open, if the main mechanic of Pokemon was to open a pack to get the thing inside of it, right? Like, if we were just talking like any other collectible that just sits on a shelf, and there's not fewer of them over time at the rate that Pokemon or TCGs in general, it's like, I mean, that's the thing that drives it, right? So
I think that's why I'm so bullish.
Yeah, it's different than any other investment that I've ever had. And when we're in a bull cycle, the demand just destroys supply. It just does, and that's like permanent. So it almost is like it's like a vicious reoccurring cycle where even in a bear market, the prices go down, people buy it, they rip it, but they're buying it, and then in a bowl they buy even more, and it just any new set that comes out just gets hammered, which is why I think Prismatic and Ascended are kind of set to be, in my opinion, performing people's expectations, of course, now, but also in the future. I don't think we've even seen close to the potential of like what Prismatic is capable of, in my opinion.
Speaking of Prismatic, what is that booster bundle behind you there on your
What,
bed,
this
Chuck? Yeah, that thing.
is my shipment for the day, bro.
It's
I
a big
told you I'm
shipment.
going all in. Actually, it's I did get it in the mail.
Were you buying from GameStop or something?
I was, but they ran out. Yeah, I was wondering when we were going to talk about Prismatic. We made it 10 minutes, thank goodness. But I got this one on ReadyMark. Shout out to ReadyMark cards. No, shameless plug, of course.
There you go.
Links down below. $1 for your first month. But yeah, they hook it up, and I'll pay
Prismatic's
the
amazing, man.
$.
Bro, those bundles, I think they're probably one of the best plays right now, honestly.
I feel like really annoying in a lot of my videos recently for like the past month or two. I like to talk about what I buy because that's just what people probably should do, and what I see is like a good investment. I tend to buy what I talk about. I've been buying Prismatic bundles for a long time, but especially over the past few months because the opportunity, in my opinion, is going away, just like it did for ETBs. Eventually, it's going to happen to Prismatic. Like every new set that comes out is taking away capacity for Prismatic. How much longer can we print Prismatic for? And if you look at every other set to compare it to recently, usually it's pretty much done by the time you're approaching that, end of print cycle / rotated out of competitive standard play, which will be in April. So we basically have 13 months roughly,
more or less. Yeah.
ETBs appear to be done, or at least compared to the last year, right? They're $200, I think over $200 now. Is it unfair to say that they'll be $400 this time next year? I don't think so. I don't know.
Dude, I think you gotta stop shilling Prismatic so hard, man. Like this is some hyper shill content right here. $400.
Yeah, I'm lost in the sauce, brother. But
I don't look. I really like Prismatic, so I feel like there's someone out there right now who didn't buy the ETBs because they thought they were going to MSRP. They didn't buy the bundles at $60 because they're too expensive. Now they're saying they don't want to buy the bundles because they're $70. And then it's going to be $80 next month.
That's going to be
then
me,
$90.
by the way.
That's going
to
be
they're $80,
yeah.
I'm going to be like, that's way too expensive.
Too expensive. No
Price
more.
That's like 2 weeks from now. I want to quickly thank this Jamie Fernandez. I can't pull it up, but it's a super sticker. I actually don't know what that is, but here.
Oh yeah, I see that too. There you go.
Thank you, Jamie. $2, man. Thank you very much. Sorry I missed that.
Shout out, Jamie.
I haven't seen that before. Interesting. Abraham, bro, thank you very much. $5. That is not an insignificant amount of money. I appreciate that, brother. Charleston with the green screen covering his cases behind him. Am I missing? What is Charleston?
I don't know. I thought he was referring to you.
Yeah, this is a green screen. I don't want people to see my walls of ETB, so I just put an innocuous fake bedroom behind me. So nobody knows. Fake guest room.
That's actually top tier content, honestly. It's so average looking, like nobody would expect that you just have the heaviest bags.
I don't. Whoa! Allegedly.
Allegedly, yes.
On an offshore account somewhere, perhaps, but I don't know, man. Like, I'm looking at Prismatic. It's so like we have to talk about it. It's relevant to talk about. It makes the most sense to me as an investment opportunity right now, or at least one of them.
Should we pull up the Pokemon Center ETB?
Yep.
I'm curious what it's at. Like, I haven't even been paying attention. So
we have sales at 600.
Not bad.
And That was not the case a few days ago, as far as
Mhm.
I'm aware. Of course, this is one site. I think there's a sheet that exists that compiles where a lot of product gets sold, eBay, TCG Player, etc.
Hmm.
And it'd probably be good to know week over week how many supply is out there and how much gets sold weekly.
Yeah, interesting. If only there was someone doing that.
If only there was somebody crazy enough to be doing that every single week. That would be that'd be
I
great.
actually look. We do the PCTBs once a month. I used to do them bi-weekly, I think, but there was what was that you brought up? I love stuff like this. This is top tier rage bait.
Yeah, this guy's Weetail is King Rage Baiter. Shout out, love you, brother.
We used to do it bi-weekly, and there's just so many ETBs in the SV era, like PC ones to do.
Yeah,
I just decided to do it monthly. I mean, we still track like all the sales, but the worst part about doing it really frequently is the amount of time spent counting the same listings every week, so you can't scrape it. It's so annoying sometimes.
yeah, you
There'll be
kind of dug
sellers
yourself in a
too.
hole. I think
Yeah. Well, look,
it's a good thing.
it's not that bad for a lot of the updates now, and even like the worst one was Black Bolt and White Flare. When I started looking at those, there'd be like 1,500 ETBs, I want to say, some weeks.
Yeah,
Now it's down to like 400, 500. It's really not that bad. But we'll have an announcement on that in probably a couple weeks, hopefully, maybe a month. I'm working with someone in my private group, and he's done an amazing job. Shout out Austin.
Oh, is this what I think it is? You're telling me
Well,
about this.
we're turning into a web page. Might do an app in the future, and it's really cool. Like, we're going to use AI to help predict like where things are going based off the data. So it's being built out right now, but it's exciting times for sure.
You were telling me, I don't remember the exact details, that if there were a certain amount of criteria, maybe it was like 4 or 5-ish or 8 data points, that the likelihood of a 20% run up within a 2-week time period was like 100% or something, or some variation of that.
No, it wasn't crazy like that. I can tell you let me give you the exact numbers too. This will take me a minute to pull up here.
Because I thought
I'll
that
open
was
the
really
page.
interesting.
So if it's, and I'm going to do a stream with Austin too, because he's the mastermind behind like the coding side of everything. But I believe it's got 9 out of 10 markers, something crazy like, if I can find this, I want to say it was like 88 or 89% of the time, 24% return within 8 weeks.
Yeah,
I'll pull it out. It's going to take me a minute if you want
that's
to,
wild.
filibuster.
Yeah, that's what this channel's all about. Oh, look at that. The chef donated $2. Thank you very much, brother. Prismatic 2-pack blister case, $600 on Wally right now. Thoughts? Isn't that was that 23 per? It's like $12 a pack roughly.
How many are in those? 12? 12 2-packs?
I think it's 24.
Or 24 2-packs?
I mean, it doesn't seem terrible to me. I don't like blister packs generally.
I think I would just rather get bundles because I think it's the same price, cheaper. Yeah, and bundles are going to be way easier to store and ship. I would just go for bundles.
I agree. Oh yeah, they do have it's the Pokemon Day promo.
Dude, who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares, man?
Yeah.
Get the bundles.
I agree. I tend to agree. I was going to ask you this. 1, Prismatic ETB. 2, Ascended Heroes ETBs.
In what time period?
Oh, you're going to have to make me add parameters now, huh?
Hey, that matters, man.
Okay, let's do a few.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make it more confusing.
All right.
Okay, 1 year.
Okay.
I have my answer.
1 year, let's go with Prismatic, just based on the gamble of there being reprints.
What about 5 years? We'll just skip. I was gonna say 2 or 3 years, but like I think 5 years. Or how about 2 or 3 years roughly?
5 years, let's just take Ascended. Fuck it.
Okay.
But I like them both. They're both such great sets.
You've held the opinion, not to put words in your mouth, that they're, and for me, this I kind of see this based on vibes. I don't have like data to support this, but usually there's a higher ROI when prices are generally lower.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's a lot of factors that go into that. I guess at what point, like, would you be looking to sell prismatic ETBs? We're at 200 now. Obviously, not in the next year, but
I think they have a long way to run.
I don't think we really have seen. My opinion is that I don't think we've seen, like, what it will do is something that we probably haven't seen before. I think the closest comparison will be like 151, but I actually think it could outperform 151. In fact, it already has in its relative time frame of being released.
That's interesting. I think that's like also not the perfect comparison because
there's not a perfect comparison.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I get it. Look, I think print runs are going to play a role there. Nostalgia, just like general market horniness for 151 is something that's unmatched in Prismatic or any other set. So we'll see. But yeah, no, I wouldn't sell Prismatic anytime soon. That's for sure. It's not even out of rotation yet, guys. Come on. Heavy bags that shit till at least 2029, 2030. Then we'll talk.
Look, I understand like last year the sentiment of being afraid to buy Prismatic to some extent. Like for a while it was pretty elevated in price, and there was like Pokemon was releasing statements, right? So there was like some uncertainty. But like you can't say that it's performed badly in the last year by looking at the yearly chart on TCG Player and then decide that it's been a bad investment. That's like an opinion in this space that like is so cherry picked and just it doesn't account for the fact that people loaded up either at MSRP, which it was easier to get last year compared to Ascended, way easier in my opinion. But also like $90, $100, 120, you know, like
we'll see what Ascended's like in a couple months. Because I remember like January, February, it was pretty much impossible to get Prismatic at MSRP, but middle of the year, there were definitely more opportunities.
That's true. Definitely. But I don't know. Ascended's already like it already hit $100 a lot faster than Prismatic did, which is kind of interesting.
I mean, did Prismatic even drop below 100? Bro, Prismatic out the gate was crazy, man.
It was like 150 for, and then it did drop, but like it was high for a while.
Look, I think they're both such great sets. People would be foolish not to have positions in both of them. Even though Ascended's like super new, it's I think it's something where you're gonna regret even in probably a couple of years not having at least a few ETBs, a PCTB, whatever.
I completely agree. I mean, I got my first case of Ascended recently. I got
the chef. Did you see that? Sorry to cut you off. Did you see the super chat?
Chef, thank you. Appreciate that. Comparing Prismatic to 151 is like comparing Skyridge to base. I understand like the 1-to-1 comparison as far as like what is in base and what 151 is, but I don't think that's I think this is just nonsense personally.
Look, I don't even know all the cards in Skyridge, so I'm not even going to comment on this. That's how much of a fake I am, dude. I wasn't around. And when did Skyridge come out? 2002, 2003? Sometime around that?
Yeah.
Was it earlier?
I think 2003. Sounds right to me.
Yeah. What a fraud I was.
For sure.
7 years old.
I mean, all you need to know is Prismatic, because Prismatic is better than all of these sets, so you're good.
Did you open Pokemon as a kid?
I did, yeah. I probably opened Skyridge. I don't remember that well, but I had a ton of cards, and my mom got rid of them at some point in my life. I had a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh as well. I remember
Hmm.
pulling like Blue Eyes White Dragon, all that stuff. Pokemon, I think I was opening. I don't know. I don't really remember that much, to be honest. But I had a lot of Pokemon cards. I was probably opening. When did Skyridge come out? 2003 May. I probably was opening some e-reader sets. Um, maybe Neo Destiny. Probably
Yeah.
base unlimited, almost certainly.
Yeah, me and my sister, we opened a lot of base and then some Neo sets as well for sure.
Yeah.
Can't remember exactly which ones. I was so young, man, but the same story. Like we had tons of cards. I think we gave them away to like my cousins or something growing up.
Yeah.
Which sucks now. We had the Charizard and all the good ones, but it is what it is.
Tale of this time,
Yeah.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
I was really into Ruby. That was the first game I ever bought. I think I was like 7 or so.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I went to the store. I had the choice between that and Sapphire, and I thought Groudon looked like way cooler, obviously.
Dude,
Um,
it's crazy. We have like literally the same story. That was my first game. Mm-hmm.
yeah, my cousin got Emerald later on, but my other cousin got Sapphire. And I thought Kyogre was super lame, to be honest.
I agree. Groudon is 10 times better.
Yeah, it's like my, it's like super lame, but Rayquaza was always the coolest. And I used to say Rayquaza, but then I recently learned it's Rayquaza. And now I feel bad saying Rayquaza. So I switched and I still don't like it. I feel uncomfortable every time, but Emerald's the go Pokemon game without question.
100%. I think it's probably when you look at all the physical games too. I mean, maybe with the exception of like Gale of Darkness, it's probably the most expensive still as well.
Yeah, CIB is,
Or like White 2, Black 2 maybe.
yeah, that
But
was pretty expensive. I had a white too. I sold it last year. I don't know why I did that, but I did. I regret doing that. It's like $200 or something. Just ridiculous. I loved
expensive games.
White and White 2 and Black 2. Those games
Mm-hmm.
ruled. I honestly think White and Black 2 are the most fun games to play. They just have so much going for it, but Gen 5 sucks, I guess. Do you have a personal favorite set? Not to talk about art, because who cares about that, but
I don't even know. It's tough. Someone asked me yesterday when I was streaming or the day before, like, what was my favorite SV set? I like Paldea Evolved from the SV era. A lot of cool IRs and SIRs. Overall, though, I don't know. Tough to tell. Mm-hmm.
I think Evolving is in the top 5 for me very easily. I think it also, like, I have a personal attachment to that set,
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could understand why somebody would say Skyridge or Aquapolis, but like, I just don't remember those sets at all, so I just don't really care. But
Maybe base for me too. I opened base as a kid, so
yeah, base is sick. It's in there.
yeah.
I think Dragon Frontiers is insane though.
That's dopes up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but not to talk about that because who cares? But what are you buying right now,
Vintage. Definitely not vintage. Definitely not. No.
Grace? You didn't take advantage of low pop reverses and set your own price on
Look,
eBay.
why would I invest in something that only has half a photo when I could invest in the new stuff that has a full photo on the card?
So
right?
true, man.
Like
That is such a good point.
That's literally double the gains right there. It's I don't know, just people don't understand it, man. But maybe they'll catch on eventually, learn the ways. I've been buying a lot of Ascended.
What's
and
your
I
case?
understand.
Well, what are you at
now? 5.
So halfway to the ceiling, is that right?
Yeah, maybe like a third of the way actually, but we'll get there. They're high ceilings. High
Flex,
ceilings.
bro. Damn. Bro's
No,
living in Rudy's living room. What the hell?
Yeah, bro. He took me under his wing. I said, "How do I go from a Timmy to top tier card cardboard investor, and I obviously had to pay for the Patreon. That was step one, but now it's just buy stuff and forget about it and go slowly crazy on the internet making videos. Apparently that's the key. And then if you're here long enough, you're good to go.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, if you just buy Pokemon, you win, right? And
Exactly.
just hold and just ignore everything. Abraham, thank you, bro. You're a maniac, by the way. Who are you? You have 10K to spend and want to do 50-50 on just 2 sets. And you have choices here. You have choice 1 and choice 2. Evo and Prismatic, or 151 and Ascended.
Time
frame is 1 year? I feel like this is so easy.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going choice 1. Yeah. Wouldn't even think about it.
No, I think Evo and Prismatic are going to be 2 very, very strong performing sets for the rest of the time, but especially over the next year. Ascended's a question mark. 151's kind of a question mark for the next year. I mean, it's run up so much, right?
Just a crazy run up. Yeah, I agree. And again, Ascended, like if we get the Prismatic treatment, there's going to be no gains there for the next 12 months, and everyone's going to say it's shit.
100%.
So,
blessed combo. Thank you, brother. I'm going to scroll up a little bit. We missed a lot of comments, as you do. What's up, Jay? Good to see you, bro. I hope you're doing well, man. I really do. I heard, I saw your videos. Hope you're doing all right, man. DJ, I know we already acknowledged you, but always good to have you here. I think DJ
bought some
oh, go ahead.
In every live stream. He's everywhere.
He's everywhere, bro.
He bought some what was it, DR boxes today, Prismatic ETBs, Ooh. Ascended ETBs. So
did he say what he paid? I haven't seen the video yet.
Short. DJ, what'd you pay? You're still here.
He's probably 80%? Shipping them right now.
Maybe.
I'm everywhere because I'm always packing. Yep. He's packing the orders up. Product comes in, product goes out. Let's see.
That's good though. That's good, 80% draw. There you go.
DJ, should I buy collections?
DJ, we were talking off stream, Chuck and I, about him wanting to go full time. Is buying collections the way to?
It's simply a dream.
Just amass wealth in this hobby.
Because you have to figure out a way to scale. You got to have some type of business situation, I think, whether it's a product.
He said it's all sold out too already. There you go. Except for the Destined.
That's crazy. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about Destined? I mean, I know how you feel about it, but like, are you? I mean, you're not buying it right now. I mean, what is the game plan for Destined? I mean, I have my thoughts, but I'm curious. I don't know if I've ever heard you talk about it for real.
I mean, if there's a reprint this year and prices come down, I'll start buying some. Like I bought some booster bundles. You can actually see it behind me. Let's see. Right there. That's a case of Destined Rivals bundles.
It's empty, but yeah.
I'll give people a little bit of an in here. That one's actually not empty, so okay. That's full. If you want to come rob me, there you go. But the boxes, I just don't feel great about. So if those come down in price, like maybe I'll start buying some. And then if they don't get a reprint, they start running. I don't know. Like I don't really have a plan for that yet. But I also don't think that Destined boxes are going to go crazy this year. That's my guess. And maybe I'm just coping, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I think they'll be somewhat stagnant for a while. But if we truly don't get a reprint of boxes like we have for many other sets, I would be really shocked. But prices will go up. I mean, it would not be crazy to say there'll be $1,000 if we don't get a reprint in the next year. Honestly.
Yeah, it's possible. Look, I'll just say this, like
I wouldn't bet on it though.
Are you a gambling man at all?
Oh yeah. In fact, I'm gambling as we speak on March Madness, if you're familiar.
Okay.
But
On which team?
that's a story for another time, I think.
Has that started yet?
Yeah, it started
The-
today. I spent a
Okay.
lot of time at work
Who's favorites?
to win.
Yeah.
It will probably be one of three teams: Duke, Arizona, or Michigan, and
Hmm.
maybe Florida. Outside of that, those are like the clear top contenders. But
I like watching college basketball, man. Ohio State sold me so hard.
yeah,
I'm guessing they lost. Unlucky.
brutal. I think it's the best sporting event that exists. We're probably going to lose a lot of viewers now if we stay on this topic for too long in this.
Look, I'll say this. Like, I like the fact that, a lot of those kids, it's like, imagine being a senior knowing that this is gonna be like your last tournament run. You're gonna give it your all. Whereas like you watch the NBA now, or even like the World Baseball Classic, bro. Like no one on Team USA gave a shit about that.
I
Whereas like
could care
look at
less.
Venezuela, man, like they wanted to win so hard. So
Yeah,
no,
it was cool.
I like watching sports where people are trying to win. That's
I
what
just think
makes
the NBA is like a terrible product unless it's like the playoffs.
Oh yeah,
the playoffs.
The NBA
like
is trash.
Solid. Yeah, it's garbage.
Absolute trash. Mm-hmm.
It's just the good teams are just too good. That's kind of the problem for me. They're just too good at it's really stupid. They're just too good at basketball. You know what I mean? Like they're just too efficient at scoring, and I just don't like watching. You just get bored after a while. But yeah, I don't understand the destined hype. E2 card is cool, but not a piece of art. I think you're thinking about this wrong. The rest of Destined could have done much more. I mean, I agree, but the theme is pretty solid, and the Pokemon are popular enough. Like I wouldn't overthink it too much.
It's a legit set.
Yeah, it's very good. Anybody who says otherwise is coping, I think. But collections are hard to find. Everyone wants them, but just churn and burn, man. It's free money. There you go. There you go. That's Pokemon, baby. Crazy world. Congrats, man. Glad to see you're doing well, though. Let's see. Just become the #1 PokeTuber and put FanDuel ads in your every video. Dude, you know what's crazy? Like when I'm thinking about, and this isn't like a real thought. Like I'm trying to think about if it's possible for me to go full-time in Pokemon. I think I would need some type of something else going on, right? But or I can just get sponsored by a gambling company and make like a ton of money every month, and I'm just good, right? Like, is that where we're moving?
Dude, it just seems like the whole world's moving that way, man. That's why I'm so bullish on the sealed cardboard. Like we're all just degenerates.
That's
and
the
we're
thing
just
that nobody
continuing to
wants
move down
to.
that path.
They don't want to admit that ultimately Pokemon, it's while it's built on an IP and art and all that, it's really built on gambling.
Those gambling sponsors too pay pretty well. Like I've had a few reach out to me.
Ooh.
I don't think I'll ever have like a gambling sponsor on the channel. Like I don't mind the like digital rips and stuff like that. Like, how Alex is doing with Galaxy Grails. Like they're at least transparent, like showing you the odds of everything you open. But some of these gambling companies, dude, are very shady. So it's something where like I'll never put their ads in my videos, even if they're offering like crazy money for 1 ad slot or 10 ad slots. Like, yeah, it's tough to turn down.
I just can't. I can't get there. I can't. It'd have to be. Well, one, my content isn't really that. Like Nostalgianomics, he does like rip and shipping. So there's, he has a buyer base already kind of ready to go for that. So it makes sense. And I do agree that the company that he's working with does seem to be a little more transparent and you kind of know what you're getting into. But there's no regulation currently in TCGs, but especially gambling in TCGs. And we've already seen like the harm that it can cause. I just like can't in good conscience do that. And I don't know if that's ever something that I can ever, I don't blame other people who do it. Like, get your money, but I don't think I can get there.
I'm dying here. Sorry, but do you want to do a portfolio review?
Yeah, you want me to pull one up?
Sure.
You're not coughing. You can go ahead and cough if you need to. Take a second here. Well, I'll watch. Don't worry.
Let's see.
Let me get one queued up here. We got a few.
Get a nice juicy one going.
Yeah, let's try to find one that's crazy, huh?
You always have some insane entries when we do this, or when I see it on your page too.
Bro, there are whales in the PokeChuck Discord. One guy posted like a 500K portfolio, and then he posted pictures of his stuff, and it was like totally legit. It was wild.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
This sludge says you can pull mine back up. Nah, dude, we like dope, good collection. All right, but you flex too much on us already. We gotta go on to some newer ones.
What's going on?
I think we reviewed his portfolio the last time. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly.
Oh, is that the guy? Maybe I'm misremembering this.
With all the cards, all the singles, I think. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Pretty sure that was
the one that we did, right? Yeah, that was crazy. Here's one.
Okay.
It's not anything insane, but there's some stuff going on here. Make sure we're hiding some stuff here.
Our Fusion Strike booster box is underrated at 1K.
Can we really? I did want to talk to you about this actually. Sword and Shield, where it's at right now, the future of Sword and Shield, the damage that the experience of Scarlet and Violet and Mega Evolution offer compared to Sword and Shield. As far as like enjoyment goes, what you can get, there's a little bit more in the mid range there. I think that's like appealing to the average person. Or has so much product been ripped for Sword and Shield, it doesn't matter, and it's just undervalued right now. It's just waiting to pump,
I think it's so difficult to call anything undervalued or underrated in this hobby. It seems like everything's fairly valued right now, but it does feel, and again, I'm operating on vibes when I say this, it does feel like the Sword and Shield pump is inevitable. It's coming.
It's certainly inevitable, but I think people are expecting like a Sun and Moon pump this year at some point. I just don't know if it has that type of gas in it.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I don't know if it's unlikely. Like, I don't know if I want to use that word because then people say I'm saying it's like not going to happen, but I would say the probability it follows Sun and Moon to the T is probably not very likely.
I think the markets are just different for their respective times. And I think more people are way more excited about the special sets that are out right now are just too good for people to care about fucking, Chilling Rain or even Brilliant Stars or any of the top sets and booster boxes in Sword and Shield. Like, you compare it to Prismatic. Prismatic is even probably a better opening experience than all of those, higher set values than all of those, except Evolving, of course, which is already, pushing 3K.
Mm-hmm.
I just, that's one set. Then you have Ascended, you have even Black Bull, White Flare stuff. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. It's in a weird spot right now. I think it needs a little bit more time to cook and be, sideways for a little bit.
I'd agree.
For people to really feel that it's underrated, because I agree. I don't think it's underrated right now.
We have been absolutely spoiled over the past year with sets. Like, people don't realize that. I remember when Temporal Forces came out, I was pretty bullish on Temporal because just compared to everything else in the era, It looked pretty good. And it was the same thing with like Surging when it came out. At the time, like that was gonna be a fire set, dude. Like, we had a Pikachu and a Latias SIR. Like, let's go, dude. We're cooking. So no, and nowadays it's like, okay, Pikachu, cool. We got 2 of those in Ascended.
Yeah. I agree. Sets are so good now. I mean, but that's always the case. Sets are always the best they've ever been, right? So I don't know. I don't think that bodes well for Sword and Shield necessarily. I do think the alt arts in Sword and Shield are pretty incredible. I think that's probably the best thing going for it. But in every set, there's just not a ton to love. And I think that probably matters because of how popular Scarlet and Violet Mega Evolution style sets are. You know, like
Yeah,
a
no
Paldea Evolved
IRs.
is probably more fun to rip for 90% of people than, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
even Silver Tempest, right? So it's hard
For
to
sure.
say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. We got a guy. Shout out to Deluge Sealed, all sealed. Let me make
Nice.
sure. I don't think there's anything.
Oh,
Hang on now.
oh,
We got some singles. We got an old damaged collection. Very interesting. Owen. I don't know what this is. Looks like
Owen. Maybe another person.
oh, shout out to
That's my
Owen.
guess.
And shout out to your
Mom.
mom. I hope she's doing well.
Nice.
Tell her we said hi. She'll remember. All right. Uh, let's look at the sealed main portfolio here. We got a couple items inside. Um, 43,000.
1,030. It's a lot of sealed items.
Yeah. I would say a lot of sealed items. Holy cow. I would assume a lot of these are going to be packs, but we've
Mm-hmm.
seen crazier things. Because I'm looking at the top row and it's all new. You know, I think we have some context here as well.
Okay.
So,
Context is good.
yep. Let's see. I started, okay. I started right at surging during Christmas. I was going to buy Pokemon for the holiday gift exchange, and I felt nostalgic looking at all the boxes back when they were on shelves, right? Bought a bunch of stuff, then went to go look at my old collection, which was ruined by heat damage. This is a different one. Wanted to go
Unlucky.
rebuy stuff from the era I like, which is Diamond and Pearl, and was shocked to see the prices. Decided to buy a bunch and sat on it for years since I was already invested into stocks. And well, it got out of hand. Got in right when the market was exploding. Probably fair to say that his portfolio, his buy-in is, I would assume, in the 20s, if I had to guess. So we can operate on like an
Decent gains
80%
then.
gain. Yeah, pretty good.
By the way, before we get into this, can you bring up that the one chat at 434? Someone please clip this when Sword and Shield explodes. Fino, we're not saying it's not going to happen. Like it's going to happen, right? Like it seems like it's coming, but I think what we were saying is that the assumption it's going to look like the Sword and Shield, or excuse me, like the Sun and Moon era move and the XY era move. Probably not. Like that's just my guess, but it does seem like it's coming this year.
For
So,
the record, I bought a lot more Sword and Shield in December. Like I think Sword and Shield is solid. I think the value prop is pretty decent, and for the prices that I got them at, like I don't think you can go wrong. There's not a ton of downside there, but I think that's kind of the reason why you're buying it. Yeah, there's room for potential, right? I think we all agree that it's going to perform decently well, but I think
I
also a big
still have a
reason why
ton of
people
Sword
are,
and Shield.
yeah, exactly. But
Please
like
pump.
part of the reason why you're buying Sword and Shield is because there's not a ton of downside there. Like it's relatively safe when you compare it in theory to a newer set, right? It's out of print. So, although that hasn't really been true. And I think that's kind of the point is that sets like Prismatic, sets like 151, sets like
Destined. That's a good one to
Destined.
throw in there.
You could probably even throw Black Bolt, White Flare in there at this point, crazily enough. Phantasmal, higher ROI since it's come out, which is a short amount of time, I understand, but like the fact is like these newer sets are just appreciating a lot quicker. And yes, that can change, but like you have to, at some point you have to follow the demand and just keep an eye on what's going on.
That's the thing that changed my mind a lot, was like, or at least made me re-question kind of my viewpoints, was looking at like Dan's numbers, Alex's numbers from streams, what they were saying. It's like Prismatic 151, Crown Zenith when it was cheap, a lot of that was opened. When you look at sets like Chilling Rain, Brilliant, Silver, these weren't getting opened that much. And I get they're like, $400 a box now, but when you think about Prismatic, like price per pack's actually fairly similar, right, between Prismatic and some of those sets, as crazy as that sounds. So the fact that these newer sets are getting open so much more, it's something to consider. It is something to consider. And I think too, like the floor on these new specialty sets, because they're so cracked, it's going to be a lot higher than just a regular Sword and Shield era set that has like maybe one or two good top hits.
Look, look at, let me pull this up. The demand for this set, we have never seen volume on, I don't think on any product on a release like this, where you're having 400, 300, 200 daily. This is daily. Even now that it's slowing down a little bit because the price has gone up, people are kind of waiting and seeing, I think, a little bit, but it's still selling. Like, we have never seen a product do this, which is why when you look at Phantasmal Flames, I mean, it was a lot less for booster boxes, obviously, but like the sell-through rate was extremely high. And so if you're just looking at that, you're going to assume that it's going to do pretty well. But at the time, like, the sentiment was a little different. But you look at Sword and Shield, yeah, boxes are selling. Yeah, they're out of print. Maybe there's a fewer product these days, but I don't know, man. We'll just have to see. This is crazy. And this product is basically, a lot of it is gone forever. A significant amount of it's getting ripped. Rip and shipping. Rip and shipping is way bigger than it was during Sword and Shield, like multitudes more.
You can always look at the pops of the ETB promos too. I haven't done that yet for Ascended, but I mean, that was one thing where, like, when everyone was talking about Prismatic, saying everyone was hoarding it, nobody was opening it, which was probably like the dumbest position to take on it. But when you go look at the pop, I remember like a year ago looking at it and it was already 40,000 or 50,000 or some stupid number like that. So if you think only 20% of those promos are getting graded, or 10%, right? Like, it's a lot of ETBs being opened.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, also the argument that like there's too much product waiting to be sold is dead, in my opinion. There is no data to suggest that has any meaningful impact. If you look at the 30-year history of Pokemon, right? People are on average in Pokemon, and this is a vibe statement, to be clear, like, they're probably not in Pokemon longer than a year on average. I would say it's probably fair. That product doesn't last as long as you think on people's shelves, and a lot of people these days are way more impatient than you realize. So stuff
impatient.
Gets moved. So impatient. A year in Pokemon. Think about where you were a year ago in March when Prismatic was $130. Like, it's kind of a long time ago in the Pokemon world. Yeah. Flex, also, I saw you in the chat. Review my portfolio. Throw it in the Discord chat. We'll take a look, maybe. Okay. Shall we? What's your first impression of this top row here?
Good. It's good. I like it.
He has more SPCs than I do.
Those are awesome products.
Very good.
Awesome products.
The Destin PCTB is going crazy.
Also. Those too. It's crazy. Those were like 180, 190 back in June of last year.
Same with the boxes were like 200, 220.
So he's done very well on Destined.
Yeah, no doubt. And I'm assuming he got this for MSRP.
Same with Prismatic too. Like, I'm assuming he's probably done really well on those.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. I have a couple Minitin displays. As far as like displayability goes, I think Minitin displays look really cool.
Yeah, they're not bad. I like them too.
Yeah, I got a couple at like a pretty good deal. So like, I got one in MSRP and then the other a little bit more. So I've just been holding on to them. But they are big. We got our Phantasmal box. Okay, it's safe to assume this is all Pokemon Center drops. I have a pretty good feeling that that's the case here for like your Mega and your Phantasmal, because most people were able to get one. Got our Ascended, thank goodness. Otherwise, you would be a failed investor.
Like me. I'm a failed investor.
Yeah, don't be like Grayson. This is an interesting product. You don't see this every day.
I had so many of those. At one point, I'm getting PTSD. I used to have like 40 or 50 of those.
It's like Sword and Shield packs, right?
Yeah, it was Silver Tempest, Astral,
One of
think
them had evolving. I thought it was Cyrus, but I don't. It's not these.
It was the Juniper ones.
Oh yeah.
Professor Juniper. They did a couple pack runs in these though. I think like one run had fusion, one didn't. I'm pretty sure. Actually, maybe not, but I don't know. It was decent packs. I bought a ton of these when they were on the Pokemon Center still. That must have been like late 24, early 2025.
There were some straggling products at that time. I was buying fusion build and battles at the same time, I think,
too.
in stadiums as well. I still have them.
Mm-hmm.
They're just sitting on my shelf.
It was literally free money.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's crazy that it even took as long as it did for a lot of that stuff to sell out.
I was buying fusion build and battle kits in stadiums in January of 25, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, wasn't like Battle Styles still in stock?
Battle Styles, Vivid Voltage booster boxes were in stock. I think that was one of the last things to go. You had like the Dialga and Palkia premium collections. Those had fusion and I think Lost Origin in them and stuff. So
I remember that.
It was a good price per pack. Yeah. Good times.
No doubt. Got our perfect order box. How do you feel about perfect order?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I get if you want to get one of everything just in case, but at the same time, there's so many good deals out there in Pokemon right now. It's tough to justify putting money into a brand new set that also is not probably going to be that desirable.
Yeah, I just don't see the point. Not to mention, like, it's not like it's super easy to get either, crazily enough. And I'm certainly not paying $230 for a box. Not when prismatic bundles are sitting out there for 60 each, or less.
Or even surging boxes. I mean, those are in vending machines right now. You can probably buy one on eBay for $230.
Yeah.
So
I might make a video on surging tomorrow, to be honest. I just think it makes a ton of sense right now.
Dude, the sales volume's filthy. Like,
yeah,
that's the thing I've been saying for months. Yeah.
It's even in November when the real restock wave was hitting, the sell-through was picking up heavily as it dropped in price. Like it's gonna do well this year. It's rotating out next year. It had the second least amount of time in the print window. Like, it's a no-brainer, I think. Bro, read my comment. I just said that. Okay, dude, I'm sorry. Golly. Would appreciate your thoughts on my comment. Okay, I gotta go to another comment. Hold up. We're going up again. Yeah, I'm assuming you just said surging is good.
Hey, man, we're not pros, okay? StreamYard is... You use StreamYard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in Stream. Okay, yeah.
By the way, somebody
takes time.
Somebody used my referral code, so I got a referral.
Really?
Yeah, I got one. Which I was like, well, oh, I didn't even know that was actually a thing that could happen.
Dude, StreamYard's great. Like, if I got to a level where I was streaming every day, I would for sure get the paid version.
100%. I would like for them to partner with my channel, preferably.
I don't think they do that. Reach out to them. Reach out to them.
Will. Every partnership I've ever had, I've reached out to them. So, we got our Battle Styles box. We hit our drop on Phantasmal PCTBs. I think these are still insane looking. Probably not a terrible value, all things considered, what the box is doing either. Probably not buying them though.
Black Bolt.
This price is a lot higher now, right?
Yep.
It's like $300.
Or have they actually moved that much?
I swear they have.
I thought you were saying those used to be like 130, like 3 months ago.
I made a video on
250 right there, bottom left. Yeah. Okay. Huh.
That's wild.
Fun.
I think these were like 170 or maybe 150 at the beginning of January. I think I made a PCTB video.
Yeah. I can tell you because there's this really cool spreadsheet. I know a guy who does it, and they put a lot of work into it. Let's see.
You have it pulled up? What was it?
January 10th, Black Bolt was $170.95.
Such a
February
no-brainer.
7th, 176, and then March 7th, $211.
Damn.
And they were $138.55 middle of December. That was the low.
That's crazy.
Dude, the white flare ones were $119 in December.
I don't remember it being that low. I know it was, but I just wasn't thinking about it at all at that time. I was buying Sword and Shield booster boxes, actually.
By the way, you remember those numbers I said I was going to pull up? I can tell you. So based on like, I don't want to go too in depth because we're going to announce this and everything, but yeah, 9 out of 10 signals, 88.7% of the time, we're up like 22.4% in an eight week period.
Wow.
If I'm explaining that correctly. Austin's going to be shaking his head if I'm not explaining that correctly, but yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting.
I have to ask, obviously it's not fully finished yet, but is there anything that's checking that box right now? Or is that secret sauce?
Yeah, that might be secret sauce. I will say, let's see. Let me sort. Yeah, there would be 3 booster boxes, 14 ETBs, and 11 one-piece boxes that are checking the box right now.
3 booster boxes.
3 of
them. And they're all Sword and Shield, right?
No. They're not.
What? That can't be true.
Yeah, it's fake news, guys. You know, it's all made up numbers.
Surging, Phantasmal, and Destined, maybe?
2 Sword and Shield, and you actually hit the nail on the head with Surging. It's in a buy setup right now. So
there you go, guys. 20. What? See, over the next 2 months, a 20% move. That almost feels too conservative right now. But that's, there's a lot of supply for Surging.
Surging is so interesting. It really is. Like, it's one of those boxes where I question why Pokemon's given us so much Surging.
It just feels like that was the first set that really kind of ripped, and they just decided at some point that they were going
to do it,
print the shit out of it, and they did. And it took time to make those boxes, and now they're like, maybe Surging is the reason why we're behind on everything else. It's
probably part of the reason for sure.
This volume, guys. This is ridiculous. It's also like peaking.
Can you go to like a 1 month chart and just see per day how many are selling?
Like a dozen.
Yeah. So on eBay, it's like 25 to 30 on an average day right now.
Like what, 250, 260?
I mean, there's some sales as low as like 220, 225. Yeah. And that's buy it now too, no auctions. So you add in auctions, probably closer to like 40 or 50.
That's crazy, man. That is crazy. Yeah, I'll probably make a video on Surging. I would like to say that it's going to go up and then it'll go up. That would be cool. But you can do that about everything right now. Yeah, we got some more products here. The longest portfolio review ever.
UPCs, nice.
Got a kind of a one of each situation here.
Magic. Ugh.
Oh my goodness.
Get that off the screen. That's -1 point right there, just for having that.
You're too interested in other TCGs already. Come back. It looks like we're buying one of every collection box in ETB and 10 ever, which I'm not super into, to be honest. But it seems like we're getting a lot of this stuff at a good price, I would assume.
I'll say if you're buying all of this at MSRP, it's probably like a 9 out of 10 portfolio because you're just getting such a good entry point. But if you're buying at market value, it's like a 5 out of 10 portfolio.
Yeah, there's some variability here.
My guess would be you're buying a lot of this in stores.
Decent chance.
On the cheap.
And he got into the space during Surging.
He's got some One Piece stuff, though, too. That's cool.
Yeah?
Hell yeah.
He probably elbowed some child for these at the Walmart. No doubt.
Those scroll up a bit. Actually, he had an illustration box
I did
of
see
One
that.
Piece
It's over
somewhere.
here, wasn't it?
Yeah,
This is one of the shit ones, isn't it?
that's the volume 2 one. Unfortunately, the volume 1
That
with
one's crazy.
Boa and Nami promos, that went crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Those boxes are interesting. This box is, I don't know about this. It kind of looks cool, but I'm just, I understand that you're interested in the space and, you know, in your message, you loved seeing the beautiful boxes on the shelves and it took you back to a wonderful time. And I have to respect that.
Mm-hmm.
But you're in my Discord. My Discord is a investing primarily, you know, centric, or my whole channel, right? But yeah, and like this comment says, clearly some consolidation can be had here, and we can go through one by one and talk about, you know, this and that. I think it's kind of obvious though if you're watching. Collection boxes, tens, like if your ROI is pretty good on them and you have storage issues, like that's the stuff I'd be thinking about first. But
oh, those collector chests 2022.
Yeah,
dude,
classic.
I had a lot of those PTSD.
Yeah.
That said, my wife pulled the Gengar VMAX out of one of those, so
Oh,
bittersweet, I guess.
Oh, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I love these. Or where is it? I think it's this 10, but also the. Maybe we scrolled past it. Yeah, this.
Oh, the Giratina one.
Mm-hmm. Black Friday 2024. $15 for each 10 at Walmart. And each 10 in my area, because it was somewhat region dependent, but they were mostly the same. 3 evolving, but either 2 brilliant or 1 lost origin and 1 fusion, or maybe it was 2 evolving and 2 lost and 1 fusion, some combination of that. I still have all those packs. I have
they
80
had so
lost
many versions of those.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I remember there was like 5 Chilean in some.
Yeah, I remember
5
some had 5
Braves.
brilliant. Yeah.
Just so weird.
But I have like 88 lost origin or evolving packs just from these, just sitting, waiting.
All right, we're beating a dead horse here.
Yeah, it's a
consolidate if you're an investor, but if this is a collection, keep what you like. Exactly.
Well, it's always the sentiment, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what people are saying. Chuck, when's the single slab? Okay, Unk Shrimp is in my Discord. He's like a whale. He's like a Japanese slab whale. Probably not anytime soon, brother. You know, here's kind of portfolio reviews are fun to do, but unless there's like an intention behind the reason for doing it, it's kind of just nonsense, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of injecting my own viewpoint as to like what I would do, which is why I like context. You know, it's very important, but I mean, yeah, it's fun. It's fun to like relate to somebody's portfolio and kind of see what somebody would say. But I also think that's like somewhat problematic. Like the underlying message there is that there's a lot of new immature people in the space. Not saying everybody's immature, but you know what I'm saying, who want to be told what to do with their money. And there's kind of a part of me that's like,
do you feel like there's a lot of new people here though? Because I mean, your channel's growing.
Yeah, I can tell you a lot of them are new, and I can tell by what types of comments people are leaving that they're new.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. And I think I've said this before, every time my channel, and this is a small sample size, you know, we're talking from May last year and on, every time my channel had a boom that usually indicated the top was near, because soon after, like, demand would drop off. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon, but I'm assuming it'll happen at some point. Or maybe it's already happening now. I don't know.
It might be.
Could be.
Yeah, we'll see.
No doubt.
I don't think anything outside the PCTBs are going crazy right now. So maybe that's like last
It'll probably, I think the market will die when Sword and Shield pumps. It'll be its final rallying cry. There will be no value left in the space.
But think about it, man. You know, if Sword and Shield pumps to Sun and Moon levels, then Sun and Moon's gonna have to pump because it's older which means it should be worth
Oh,
more. And then XY is gonna have to pump.
yeah,
And then
everything's
black
rubber
white
banding
goes
off each other,
vintage.
right?
Exactly.
It's like
You know,
a
it's
it's like
just
an inner tube on the lake, tubing on the lake. But what's at the top, pulling it all? Who knows? Is it Logan
shrouded
Paul?
fable.
Shrouded Fable. They don't call it shrouded for nothing. It's in the shadows, you know.
Shrouded.
PC
Everyone
something.
thinks Shrouded's the tail of the sealed investments, but it's actually the head. It's leading the way.
Can we pull it up? Dare we?
Alex says need another bear market to stack up even more. Dude, that'd be cool. I miss the days of $30 Crown Zenith ETBs.
I miss the days of $80 PCTBs for Shrouded. Actually, I mean, they're really not that far off. That was like last year. That
Look at
was
those
less
games.
than a year ago. Oh man. Yeah. That was like one of the first PC ETBs to boom, though, if I recall. Maybe not.
They all kind of just went at the same time. It was crazy.
This buyout period was crazy, though. It was like kind of a different thing.
You know, I really do hate TCG players sometimes because it's like there'll be 10, 20 boxes that sell, the price doubles, everyone freaks out, makes their videos, but then you'll go look at eBay. I mean, Shroud at that time was what, $200?
Yeah.
There were so many listings of PCTPs at like $100, $120. Just It was silly, but whatever.
I had ETBs pulled up. I thought they went over 200.
They did for a while.
Ah,
yeah.
I missed it. I could have made a video on it yesterday.
You're slacking, man.
Damn.
You gotta get on that. And you want to go full time? Dude, you gotta be putting out like 7 videos a day. Wait, no, market price there said 203.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Most recent
there you
sale.
go.
I mean,
203.50. Ignore the recent sales. That doesn't mean shit.
That's somebody trying to manipulate the market, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Selling Japanese product.
I disagree with this personally.
Is that for Prismatic? Hectic?
Shrouded or Prismatic? Shrouded kind of looks, I mean, it looks all right. All right. It's not that bad. The Pokemon are kind of, you know.
I'll say this. I really hate how a lot of the SVR ETBs, or maybe all of them actually, like the PC version's essentially the same artwork.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy.
Sword and Shield was sick for that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, but even like, the Destined Rivals ones where they swap the colors, right? Or invert them.
It's like red. And that's like a good example, quite frankly. Like, look at this garbage. It's trash. But like, you go to Fusion. I mean, they were cooking in Sword and Shield, man. They were really trying to get the space popping again. Like, this is crazy to me. Looks so good. It's a shame they don't have a promo. It's kind of the story with Sword and Shield for me. Is like, it's a shame they don't have X. You know, it's a shame they're not fun to open. It's a shame there's only one card.
I would say higher highs and lower lows is what you're getting with Sword and Shield for the most part.
No doubt. Shrouded, Greninja. Okay, this is true about Shrouded. The promos are amazing. Greninja and Kingdra.
It's actually a good thesis. Yeah. That promo is already really expensive.
Yeah, I think it's been pumping for basically since it's been out. Prismatic fun to open. I think it's fun to open. I think anytime you're opening a set where you could maybe get a God Pack is fun to open. That might be my hot take.
Or when there's potential to get a really expensive pull. I do think that matters because
with an Umbreon. And you can grade it and get a 10 and sell it for 4,300 allegedly.
Imagine if you could pull a $10,000 gold Roger, get that graded PSA 10, 25K.
Contentious.
Yeah, guys.
I thought One Piece died.
Yeah,
Wait,
it was dead there for a minute, but it's back now.
is it?
Dude, we got the live action out. Everyone's,
Yeah, but
going
are people buying?
crazy.
Are they buying cards again?
The top hits, top slabs, some of the boxes are starting to move again. We just got news yesterday about Premium Bandai is going to be doing a lottery system for OP13 and EBO3. And they said on their website it's going to be 1,000 boxes. So you had people freaking out and going like, oh, the reprint's only going to be 1,000 boxes. I made a video stating why I don't think that's the case. It's going to be bigger than that. But you're going to have some people that go like, this is probably going to be small. And I mean, that's already back up. OP13, I want to say it's like 575 now again.
I mean, it ain't Pokemon printing numbers, right?
Yeah, that is true. But at the same time, like they are printing a decent amount of stuff.
Well, they have to print Dragon Ball and whatever else, right? That they have going on.
OP13 basically went 550 to 570 overnight from that news. There were sales too at $600 again. So
yeah, look at that.
We'll see.
This box is crazy, I have to admit.
Bro, it's so cracked. It's one of those things where like, I don't know. I just don't get why people didn't invest even just a little bit into
I bought one at like $190 because I looked at it.
Yeah.
I saw the set value and I was like, it was a TCG player sale. So you had like, the 10% off kind of thing going on. I was like, yeah, fuck it. I'll buy one. I got it. And it went to $700 in like a month. I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to open a One Piece chat in my Discord now and start watching the show again.
Dude, your Discord's bumping, man. You get a lot going on there.
There's some people there. They be talking in there, man. But I appreciate it. It's good. I do it.
I was going to say that you should probably get this off the screen real quick. We're going to lose viewers pumping.
Oh, yeah. True.
Pumping this fake investment.
Here we go. Oh, wait. I've destroyed Carrying On His Will, actually. You see this volume and its peak?
Trash.
I mean, just garbage, right? Thank goodness Ascended exists to just completely dwarf the potential of this. So we're back.
I will say I did the update today for the One Piece boxes. I think OP13, it was still like 12 and a half boxes per day on eBay selling.
That's kind of insane.
Yeah.
I mean, has it ever really dipped that much? I mean, people have been buying it, right? I know when it was like 700.
It went from 7 to 5 after the reprint announcement. You had some people freak out, but it's been moving back up since then.
It's wild.
Yeah.
AM019, thank you for the donation, brother. Should I sell my grandma's necklace to buy Ascended ETBs? Actually, probably. I mean, this is an investment channel, right?
You should probably sell the necklace, the earrings, the bracelets, all of it. I mean, why do you want to keep that shit? The wheelchair, bro. Wheelchairs can be expensive, man.
I know, bro. If it's electric, you can get like 2 cases of Ascended Heroes ETBs, bro.
DJ says sell her too. Yeah, bro. If she can cook, maybe outsource her or something.
Sell her too. She's not worth that much. Let's be honest. The portfolio's mom, that's a different story. But shout out to his mother, I guess.
Cardboard gold is greater than gold. Facts, dude.
It kind of is. Guys, feel free to. I think we'll enter the phase here where if you want to throw in a question, go ahead and throw. Let's move away from the grandmothers, or I mean, I don't know. And I guess any question is welcome. Go ahead and throw it in the chat.
What do you think of Paradox Drift and Temporal Force? You could pull that one up.
I was trying to avoid that one, but okay.
Why? Look, dude, you just gotta hit them with the facts. Okay, I'll do it because
go ahead.
I like being the villain. Paradox Rift is trash. Temporal Forces is trash. And you should probably just sell it all and buy One Piece because Pokemon's a dying game.
I kind of built my brand on Chilling Reign and Paradox Rift.
Did you?
I mean, it was kind of a meme, but I do have boxes of both. So it was kind of not a meme. I was always like, they're actually good sets, guys. And I kind of stand by that a little bit, but
I still think chilling's good. When
I
you
do
look
too.
at the top 10 value, like
It's fine.
legit. It's
No,
legit.
it's a good set. It's a good set, but yeah, we've since retracted our perma
I'll
bull.
say I remember when Paradox was like $80 a box.
I
Like
bought
it was a
2.
good buy then. Yeah. I bought a case. There's a store in Canada. It was like 123 shipped Canadian. I don't know what that is in USD, but that was the cheapest I ever saw it.
Yeah.
So
I
at
bought a
that
couple of
point,
boxes
goodbye.
locally for 90, I think, and they were pretty clean. It was just a different time.
What do you think? What do you think about selling that right now, though, for like surging?
100% hard,
Yeah.
hard 1-for-1. Maybe not 1-for-1, but it probably is 1-for-1. If you had the Paradox, I'd much rather have the surging. Personally, in fact, I'm trying to sell a Paradox box right now. It does have a slight tear in it because that's how we were buying back then, apparently. Or I know I bought it from a card store, Safari Zone, and every time I've ever bought something from them, it's been fucked up. And then they act in it, whatever. If you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I've been trying to sell them, and I just can't sell it locally right now, to be honest. So we'll see, right? But yeah, I'd much rather have surging.
There's some weird shit going on in this chat. I don't really like this. Trade life support machine for
Jesus Christ, man. Some of these other ones are crazy. Speaking of life support, I've been watching this show called The Pit. It's insane.
Okay.
Highly recommend.
Never heard of it.
Just trying to think of other things we could talk about that aren't relevant to this channel.
Why are we trying to lose more viewership?
I think so. We had One Piece, somebody's grandma.
Look, the best way to lose viewership is just to bring up politics.
What the hell is this supposed to mean?
I have more prismatic ETBs than Chuck has strains of hair. That's crazy, dude. You must have like a house full then. I mean, Chuck's got a lot of hair.
Keep going, guys, please. More of these.
If you said you had more ETBs than I had hair, then okay, like might be insulting.
Oh man.
That's good though, dude.
ETBs
and prismatic, like that's the way.
Apparently. But if you look at the yearly chart, it's pretty bad, isn't it? Actually.
I don't know. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, 54%, bro. Trash.
Lovely.
Garbage.
Just wait a few months, guys. We'll talk. We'll talk in December.
Rubs me the wrong. I just can't listen to that take anymore. It drives me crazy. How is vintage market doing at the moment? Bro. Don't worry about vintage, Ben. Don't even look at it. You'll get tempted and bad things will happen to you. Hey.
I mean, the vintage market was popping off. Like gold stars have gone crazy. So you should probably sell all your modern to me look, I'll give you a good deal. 75% for basically any booster box or ETB. And then you can go buy gold stars at all-time highs.
There you go. I've been thinking about buying. Now it's like the worst time to do it. And I don't want to do it now. But there's a time where I want to like diversify a little bit into vintage grails. I don't know. The ROI is questionable compared to things right now, but like, wouldn't it be really sick to have some Grail gold stars or like a first edition Zard and a PSA X, as like a kind of a store of value / investment? I haven't done enough research on it clearly, but it's kind of intriguing to me.
It would be a flex.
It would be really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it would.
I guess I'd rather just buy like a base set box,
I really like as I said, I never opened, but I really like the look of the Crystal Guardians booster box.
Yeah.
Those are nice and blue.
Doesn't Pokeplumber have one? I think he does.
Probably. That dude's got like one of everything.
Right, just bought an Aquapolis box. I'm like, what the fuck are you on? Like, who are you talking to? Prismatic only needs the massive hype to stay for another year before it goes out of print. Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't think anybody's worried about Prismatic. I think people who know about Prismatic know that it's going to rip over the next year.
Dude, I guarantee you, we're going to be in like 2029 talking about Prismatic booster bundles, and those are going to be like $200 plus, probably 300 plus.
Bro,
people are going to be like, damn,
I think they'll be $200 by
bought
the end of
these.
next year.
It could follow a very similar trend to 151. I think so.
Technically, ETBs are. It took.
Grayson's talking like he's on Shark Tank trying to play a contestant. What does that mean? What does that mean?
You're trying to sell people something?
Oh, dude. I mean, if you want 10% of my company, okay, yeah. I'll give you a good deal.
Yeah, best I can do is 25%, and I'd give you $50,000, right? It's always the deal that they make.
If anyone wants to buy 10% of PokeProfit Incorporated, I will sell it to you for $125,000.
Yeah, if you calculate your growth rate of your portfolio, that's definitely going to keep continuing for the next decade.
No, that's excluding the portfolio.
Oh, just your earnings potential.
Yep.
I see. Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Yeah.
Open offer,
guys. It's there. You guys sound like crypto bros thinking 125K Bitcoin was going to 300K.
Look, I'll say this in all seriousness. We'll get serious for 5 seconds, okay? In Pokemon, the reason why I buy sealed products is because I see the avenue to how it can become more expensive because of how prevalent rip and ship culture is in society. That's why I invest in this stuff. But at the same time, I have watched the Rudy videos. I have watched a bunch of other creators who are around, 10 years ago when things weren't moving. So I fully expect there's going to be a time where things just don't move again. And we go back to like negative growth or really flat growth for years on end. Like that could happen. And I'm ready for it. I don't know if everyone else is going to be ready for it, but just know like what we say in videos and talking about what we think is going to happen. Obviously, it's with the assumption that things continue down the same track that they've been following, right? But Pokemon could throw a wrench in the work at any time and change that.
We've been operating under the same assumption that Pokemon has basically not changed their strategy that much for the past 30 years. And so what happens if we keep moving forward where they're not able to meet demand? Things will probably change. So that's the one thing is certain to happen is that things will change, whether it's market dynamics, demand, supply, rip and shipping, X factor, right? So I don't know. It's so far so good, but the difference is that there's always less Pokemon as time goes by.
Mm-hmm.
So it's.
I saw someone say, where'd they put it? 125K Canadian is like $5 USD. Exactly.
There you go. Not for long, but we'll see what happens here over the next 6 to 12 months. Yeah.
Do we get 10% when you sell all Pokemon One Piece products? Nah. Portfolio separate, DJ.
Whoa.
This is just the intellectual property in anything that gets built out.
PokeProfit IP coming in for the rankings on the Wikipedia page. Is that what we're hearing?
It's a good deal. I think it's a really good deal.
It's behind, I heard it's behind Winnie the Pooh, PokeProfit, in between Winnie the Pooh and Hello Kitty. Somewhere in there. Why are 151 packs 25, but mini tins are only 38?
Good question.
Probably because people don't trust mini tins. I know there's certain seals that you can reseal. If it's not fully wrapped, you can slide it off, repack it. Not to mention the fact that cards and mini tins, which I think this is less of a thing, but it's true that cards and Pokeballs, mini tins, oftentimes, I would assume they have a lower PSA 10 rate just because of how they're stuffed in there, Um, or the market just hasn't fully caught on to it yet. Could also be
Market
that.
inefficiency. There you go. Buy them all up, sell them to Wenzel TCG for $23 a piece. Instant millionaire.
Yeah, 100%.
Per pack, $46 a making.
Let's see what we got. Here's an interesting question. What originally got y'all into sealed TCG collecting? Also, what's been the highs and lows in your experience so far? I guess I'll go.
Sure.
I got back into sealed TCG collecting. Well, I got into the hobby again in 2020, like many people, but I was ripping packs. I was chasing evolutions packs. That was my main deal. You know, Cosmic was $8. I'd be happy to get one of those in a box here and there. Of course, it was a much different time, right? Vivid, that was like the hype set that was coming out, the set that was going to rule them all. And of course, like stream culture, ripping like vintage boxes, like that was very interesting to me. PSA 10 prices, all that stuff. Like a lot of people today, really, it's kind of similar. So that kind of got me into it. And then I realized as I had like I had a bunch of singles that I had ripped. I realized that a lot of them were going up in price. And then I noticed that like boxes that I was looking at buying that were older, like Sun and Moon and older boxes too, right? Like Evolutions was kind of a relevant box at that time. Still had the sentiment of like being super overprinted, but it started moving up in price. And I realized that like, oh, I've wasted a ton of money opening packs to get singles. This whole time, hypothetically, I could have just been buying sealed product and I would have made this amount of money. And then I started buying sealed product. I think my first box that I purchased was a Fusion box and a Chilling box and an Evolving Skies box. So in 2023, 2024, my portfolio was like, I was looking at it the other day compared to where it is now. It was like $1,000 in like 2023 or like $2,000 or something. And now it's like, I never thought that I would be where I'm at now from then. And I'm so glad that I started loading up a lot more in 2024 when, TikTok shop had boxes of Paldea Evolved at $90. Everybody on YouTube was like, these sets are bad, but they're so cheap that eventually they're going to have to go up. And that's kind of the mentality I adopted. So I would say the lows were, I don't know. There haven't been a ton of lows because it's only been up.
I agree.
It's whatever. It's been all mostly highs and it's been really fun. And of course, like I made a channel in May 2025 after watching people like Pokey Profit, Vapor Self.
Thanks, man.
It's true. I was a viewer of yours for like probably over a year before I.
And you thought, if this clown can do this shit and get subs, I could do this and get more subs.
Anybody can do it. Yeah. But I was like, I want to make videos that I think I would like to watch and we'll see what happens. I just did it on a whim one day. And now my involvement in the space is a lot different, right? So what about you?
I started learning Mandarin when I was in university. And I actually started watching the Sun and Moon anime. I can't remember. That must have been like 2019, 2020, around that time. So that's how I kind of got back. Like I hadn't touched Pokemon since I was a kid. That was kind of like my first experience with it again. And then after that, like in the next couple of years, I started getting just investing like hardcore in general, like stock market and stuff. And then I think for whatever reason, I got into Pokemon investing like mid 2023, early 2023. I started watching Alex, Pokeoz, Rudy, obviously too, some of his older stuff. Bought like Shining Fates ETBs. I think that was my first buy.
Hell yeah.
So that's probably one of the lows, honestly. But then like from the middle of the year, I was traveling that year too. Like I was in Costa Rica, I went to Colombia. So I didn't buy a ton because I was away. But then when I got back, that like fall going into Christmas time, I went super heavy into Sword and Shield, bought Brilliant, Chilling, Fusion, Lost Origin, no Evolving because it wasn't in stock in the Pokemon Center. So I didn't buy any, but that was kind of like my big play. And then that February actually, February 2024, I went back to Colombia to spend time with my wife. And while I was there, I started the channel. Because I too watched Vapor Self, and I thought like if this guy can get views and stuff, like I could probably do this too. So that's how my kind of experience evolved over time. And I'd say the low for me, in all seriousness, was probably not buying more 151.
Yeah, if we're counting lows as opportunities missed, it's probably hundreds of them.
Yeah, if I had, and maybe too, like this is a cop-out answer, but if I had better spending power a couple of years ago, like I'd probably be retired already, honestly.
Yeah,
like the opportunities, exactly. So
what can you do?
but like even like late 24, when the 151 bundles were getting restocked, like I put every dollar I could into booster bundle restocks at Walmart. Like if I had an extra 100,000 at that time, or 150K, whatever, dude, that would have all went into bundles. Like that was the time to be buying. So biggest regrets are just not buying enough and not having enough at the time to buy more.
Yeah, I always could have spent more, and only recently have I gotten to the point similarly where, maybe to a smaller scale, of course, but where I feel like I'm investing as much as I want to be in Pokemon.
Yeah.
I think a low for me was also I opened up those tag team boxes with the Deoxys Espeon promo. I got 2 of them at Target, and I think I threw the promos away in the trash. Hate to say it, but yeah, opened up all the packs. I think those boxes are like close to $2,000 now.
Damn,
I think about that a lot, actually.
Yeah, maybe another big regret's like opening so much products, but it's fun,
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate it.
No doubt.
By the way, before we move on, sorry to cut you
up?
off too. I feel like I'm hijacking your stream sometimes. Can you bring up the 521 comment from Clandine? Look, I just want to say this too. Like Wenzel TCG, they've blown up huge, man, over the past year. I agree. I wouldn't say it's because they're somehow favored in the algorithm. Like their product is top tier. Like the experience watching their streams is great. If anyone's watched a stream, like it's fun. The other thing too, like they have a guy doing shorts for them, and those shorts are very well edited. So like it's not that they're just lucky or favored. They've put in the work, and they do like a really fucking good job. So that's why they're at where they're at. It's not like, it's not luck. I mean, maybe luck plays a role in it. Obviously it does for everybody, but to say that even a majority of their success is based off of luck is, to me, ridiculous.
Yeah. Shout out to all the people who made it with a crazy production,
Like they've obviously solved how to do the vertical formats in streams and also the reels, but again, like it's something that anyone could replicate, right?
100%.
Like you go on Fiverr, you find your editor in Asia or wherever for $20 a video, $30 a video, whatever it's going to be, and you send it, man.
If people like you, the hardest part of having a successful Pokemon channel in the investing space, or like rip and shipping, is literally just starting it. I think people get way too caught up in like, I want it to have this aesthetic or have this type of production value. I think if people like you, they're gonna show up there. I know it's a little different for rip and shipping, but that just goes to anything in general. I think if you've been thinking about creating a channel, you should just do it. And your first few videos are going to be terrible, but that's just part of the game.
Your first 100 are going to be bad.
I mean, all of mine are bad, but
and I wasn't talking to you. I was talking like anyone watching these. Dude, I think your videos are good. I know some people don't like them, but
I don't
I
know.
enjoy watching them. I think they're
I,
great.
I think it's about like the person and what they're saying more than anything else. Like,
Yeah,
they're not coming from my
I agree.
background or
Mm-hmm.
any of that. But let's see. Shall we do a few more of these?
We could.
I feel like I just said that in a British accent without the accent. That was weird.
It's very formal.
Yeah.
Very posh.
Yeah, let's find some interesting questions here. Or if you see one, let me know.
Yeah, I'm looking. I am looking.
Here's one that's I think I'd like to take a crack at. How do you guys feel about your official? Well, I have some thoughts on this. How do you guys feel about your official tier rankings, and what do you plan for 2026 to hopefully digging yourself out of the lower ranks and tiering up? Wait, I need to understand that second half. I feel like I had a stroke reading that. What do you plan for 2026 to hopefully digging yourself out of the lower ranks and tiering up?
Oh, is this based off of that Reddit form or whatever where that guy did that tier rating?
Yeah, that was crazy. I need to get a link to that.
That shit was top tier rage bait, dude. Whoever did that. That was prime.
We need to pull that up 100%. Oh, yeah, here it is. Holy cow.
I'll be honest, I didn't even see this until I think you sent it to me on Discord.
Yeah, shall we take a look at this, guys? Now, what's our plan? Well, Grayson seems to be, aren't you pretty high up there? Yeah, you're an A tier, bro. I think once your product comes out, you'll be in that kind of elite S tier business tuber, like / goat investor type guy. So you're already there. You and Vapor Self is right behind you, obviously.
Of course.
And obviously Catch 'em All Collectibles deserves to be behind you. That guy doesn't know the first thing about business or selling Pokemon cards.
Brian behind Sam Shiny Stocks, dude. Like, this list was just prime rage bait, man. I love
have thoughts on some creators, but I'm a nice guy and drama free, right?
It's funny because before this even came out, I actually was thinking to myself, like, why has nobody done like a PokeTuber tier ranking video before?
Bro, can I just say, you can believe me. I was talking to Team Rocket Joey because I was like, this would be a hilarious video to do. We should do it together one day. But then I was like, I never pulled the trigger because I thought it'd be mean, because it's inherently kind of mean. I wanted to do that for a long time, but I think some things, when you're like a creator, it's probably just better left to keep that behind closed doors if it's not.
Yeah, I don't want to get involved with drama. I've said this multiple times, like, over the past year with the people I've worked with, a lot of whom are like, 7-8 figures net worth, doing big things, much larger than me making YouTube videos talking about Pokemon. Bro, they just want the info. Like, literally all they want is for you to tell them what's going on, give them accurate info, and then just piss off. Like, that's all. So it's like, I've learned, stay out of the drama, stay away from the mindless games that don't really benefit you if you're trying to build a business, and like a legit business in this space.
Yeah. I also just shout out to Ern. Love you, brother. Hope you're doing well. The life changes and all that. In my Asian household, a C would mean failure, but in Pokemon, a C is a win. Yeah. There you go. I guess I'm failing then. Or I'm worse than failing.
Well, you're not from an Asian household, so you're good.
True. We have no
expectations. Probably still getting a pat on the back.
In my household. Yeah. Yeah, I get a participation trophy, right?
Yeah, Ern's
I'm ahead of retrospects, guys. Like, I made it. That guy doesn't know anything about Pokemon cards. He hasn't been here long enough at all. Oh, man.
Yeah, multi-millions on eBay in a year, dude? Nah. D tier. Like,
it's crazy.
This was prime rage bait, whoever did this. Like, I
I
I'm curious to
legitimately
know who
think
did
they
it.
thought that Retrospects was like a new investor YouTuber that just entered the space and they like just started posting videos. Uh, which, to be honest, like I didn't really know who he was, and I got videos recommended to me. I was like, oh, and then I quickly learned what was going on here.
Mhm.
Pokey stocks, bro. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hmm.
Legend.
Interesting
Um,
list.
yeah. Anyway, very funny.
Bring up the 531. Can someone explain to me why Nostalgianomics is always mad or seems angry? Guys, Alex is not always mad or angry. That's just look, I'll say like Alex was really generous with his time, like helping me out and stuff. Like he offered to come because through my private Discord, like I bring in people to do guest presentations. Like he offered to do it for free. And I said no, like you're
That's
not gonna do it
crazy.
for free, man. I'm gonna pay everyone. But yeah, he was really generous helping me out and stuff. And I think too, like, bro, he gets a lot of shit compared to other like Pokemon investors. And I mean, when you say certain things in certain ways, it's obviously gonna piss some people off. But at the same time, like when you're saying things that aren't necessarily not factual, right? It's just something that people may not agree with, even though it's the truth. It's gonna ruffle feathers. So yeah, I think Alex at times just gets a ton of hate that's probably not fully deserved. And I mean, like, Kira and Opossum Bud need to get views for their channels. So who
Yeah,
else
and
are
to
you
be
gonna pick
fair,
on?
he did say some pretty dumb shit about Kira one time, and I think he owned up to that. But
Dude, at the same time, like she says a bunch of dumb shit. So I don't even hate it.
it
Like
goes
I
both
understand,
ways.
right? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
if you're gonna put a big target on someone's face and then play victim when they say something about you, it's I don't know. Like again, not something I would do, not something I condone either. Like I think it was a bit petty, but at the same
It's
time,
just like
it's like
stupid. It's like silly, stupid stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, I think also Alex. When I was watching Pokemon investing content, I was also watching Nostalgianomics, like 2023, 2022, 2024 kind of era. He has toned it down quite a bit since then. I think,
Hmm.
and if you go watch a video from that time, I think he was way more. What's the word?
Like
Uh,
polarizing.
a little bit more polarizing. I think a little bit more energetic, and I think
Mhm.
more willing to kind of take some shots and make some very controversial kind of statements, at least
He
for
doesn't
the
have to
space at the
though
time.
anymore, right? It's like
No, he's made
he,
it. He has an incredibly successful rip and shipping career. He
mhm.
has like all these digital partnerships. He has multiple streams. He's doing very well. So to like to make fun of him for for how successful he is now, or knowing how successful he is now, is like you're just getting caught up in something that doesn't matter at this point. And I think he's probably mellowed out a little bit in that regard since he's much more established in his career, and it just
Mhm.
doesn't matter.
Dude, it's tough when like you're trying to build a brand and then you just get criticism from all sides. And a lot of it's just like not even just,
And he's
right?
also
Like
like usually right. We're
mhm.
talking about Pokemon cards going up, and he's usually saying that cards are going to go up, so he's usually right about things. So I don't know. I do have to give him some credit. Last year, like in the year before, he's pretty much always been bullish on cards, right? And
Mhm.
times of more uncertainty, and he ended up being pretty correct. So um, he's stood on what he said for many years with a lot of conviction, and I think if you're a creator in the space, you owe it to your audience to have that same level of authenticity. So
Hmm.
respect for that for sure.
I'm just reading that new comment too, 537. I watched what was it? What's his name? The Canadian dude.
This guy.
Yeah, but I mean, who made the video about robo skills? What's his name?
Oh, was
Rattle.
that like that was recently, right?
Rattle, right?
Ish. That was like 5 months ago, 6 months ago,
Maybe, yeah, maybe even a
last
little
year.
bit more. I didn't know if any of that was legit or not. I'll just say this.
I don't remember what it was.
I'll say this though. There are a lot of these like drama channels that make content on YouTube and when you look at it from like a journalistic perspective, or from no, like this is gonna be serious
No,
from a
I
journalistic
know where you're going. I
perspective,
agree.
or
Sorry.
like for the potential to be sued for slander. Slander is the one when you say stuff orally, right?
I think so.
Libel's written, I
I
think. Can't
believe
remember.
so.
Either way, right? Like for defamation, one day, one of these drama channels is going to get sued. And I guarantee you, most of these drama channels don't have like general liability coverage or errors and omissions coverage. And they're going to get sued for everything they own. Can almost guarantee it, man. And then you're going to see a lot of those channels really kind of like, start to become more leveled or just stop doing that type of content. Like it blows my mind what people are willing to put on the internet with like basically no filter, right? Especially about other people. Like it's insane. These people are way too comfortable with what they say. And I'll say too, like I think it's important some of the stuff they put out. Like I like the fact that Opossum Bud and some of these other people are covering the PSA scandals and stuff, because that's stuff I don't pay attention to. So it's good. It's good for them to use their channels to get that information out there. But at the same time, like some of the things they say with like no information, no verification, it's wild, especially for channels of their size. Like you're asking for something bad to happen.
It's very bold. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I could never. I'm just not built that way. I'm a pretty non-confrontational person, as you guys could probably tell, and I can't imagine making like these videos that are just borderline existing only to insult somebody. And there's not really like you said, there's not a ton of research going into a lot of the claims being made about people, and if they have businesses that are getting affected by what you're saying, and if it ends up being false, I don't think people are thinking about the potential consequences of that with somebody who has the money to do something about it. Not to say that you shouldn't criticize people if you disagree with
Mm-hmm.
them. That's totally valid, but there is a blurred line between criticism and just disliking somebody and attacking them for whatever reason. Um, I think the same could also, in a different vein, be true for people who make investing content. It's pretty clear that it's for entertainment, and I think investing channels are protected just from that alone. But there are maybe less of a concern from a legal standpoint, but I don't think. Look, you are ultimately, as the individual, the person who makes the decision to do what you will with your own money, right? You make that decision. But if you are making investing content, you need to be very, very aware of the fact that people are listening to you. And if you're saying you're buying something, they are treating your message sometimes as gospel if they trust you. So you should be very careful with what you're putting out into the world as well. Which is why personally, we do market updates, and I also talk about what I buy personally. Beyond that, not a whole lot there. So, just be careful and be responsible and be mature about it. But I completely agree with you. Um, Especially as the space continues to grow, and inevitably, I think the world is becoming more polarized as time goes on. Like, there's going to be some crazy shit that happens over the next few years
Mm-hmm.
in this culture that we're in. Um, we're already seeing crazy things happen with the types of videos being made, but also with like all the scams going on, people getting robbed. Like, I don't know. I think you should get ahead of that now if you're not already, for sure. But I'm not super familiar with the Robo Skills hit piece that Rattle put out. The only thing I know is that he does comedy stand up or something. I don't know. There's like a clip of him doing stand up. It wasn't anything like bad, but it was just like, oh, that's kind of disappointing, I guess. But I don't know them at all. I don't know.
Don't worry, the Q1 reprints are coming, guys.
Yeah, what's the deal with that? I mean, Anon just.
Hey, man, it's not end of Q1 yet. Okay, you still have 12 days left, guys.
They're
Keep
in
the faith.
transit, guys.
They're in transit.
Relax.
Keep the faith.
Yeah, relax.
You weren't at Gamma. You don't know.
Yeah. I did get a donation let's read this. Home Depot boy. Thank you very much, brother. Looking at values of the last specialty sets, do you think Pokemon will transition toward making specialty sets the collector sets? That would assume a major fundamental shift in their strategy, of which I would say for now my answer is going to be leaning towards no, because we have no evidence of them doing that.
I don't think they have any need to do it.
I think if anything, they want to continue what they're doing with a little bit more demand, which is the printing facility is the answer. But I don't know, man. What do you think? Should we end it there?
Yeah, we could. Good place to end it.
Yeah.
This was fun.
It was fun. It's always a good time, man.
Yep.
Appreciate you coming on my channel. And
dude, thanks for having me. This is the second time, bro. I always tell people like this, you were my first live stream, bro. You were the first.
Oh, you're gonna make me blush, bro. Well, who knows? Which set do I invest in? Oh, definitely not the one that you like. I'll say that.
Yeah, don't invest in stuff you like. That's dumb.
No.
Look, the clear, obvious answer for me this year is I'm going all in on Shrouded Fable.
Yep, it's the best.
Because it's the head. It's not the tail. It's the head.
That's right.
All right, bro. We got to get out of here before these questions get worse. You're getting thoughts on absentee fathers at this point, so.
Yeah, I only think in monetary values, so we're getting too abstract. The grandma is alive today. The absentee father, it's hard to put a value on. So with that, thank you very much for being here, Pug Prophet, Grayson. Always good to see you. Hope you're doing well. And thank you to everybody who joined today. Maybe we'll do another one here in the future. I don't know if 2 is a sign of something, but we'll see, right? Anyways, thank you all for being here, and we'll get out of here. Peace.